In 1996, two video store clerks miraculously survive an unspecified cataclysm that has destroyed civilization. Great efforts are made to archive and preserve the past so that future generations can fully comprehend the magnificence that was Hulkamania, Feldman Haim, and Police Academy 3.
My dear sweet brother Noomsay, where have you been?
I'm just here caressing my nipples, thinking about you so hard.
God damn, it's good to be loved.
I miss day-to-day human interactions. Are you drinking a beer?
I'm living large on the last of these Labatt coppers, man. I'm doing my best to fight shelf rot, I can tell you that.
Oh my God. You're so lucky. Literally all I have is this potato toilet vodka. This is what I'm down to.
Of all the things that I miss the most in this world, I miss a good meal. I'm not talking lobster, I'm not talking steak or duck l'orange. I miss French fries. I miss pizza. Shit, I miss a shitty pizza. I miss hot dogs. And I miss hamburgers. Let me ask you a question here. Are you a hot dog man? Or are you a hamburger man?
Yo, Burgundy, chew on this. You'll never cut the mustard, mean winner.
That, my friend, is a loaded question. When I think about hot dogs, I also think about bananas, and I think about phallic foods that I'm not comfortable eating in public. Because when I eat a banana, I feel like everybody turns to me and watches. How does he put that banana between those soft, supple lips? So, yeah, I'm not sure.
I had the same problem with a Boston cream donut. It's just one of those, like, it's just way too sexual for me.
That is a nasty ass donut.
If you have a problem with wieners or phallic-centric food, you're gonna love what we're serving up here tonight, because we're going with Hamburger the Motion Picture, not to be confused with Hot Dog the Movie.
Are your parents encouraging you to get a college education?
Let me kill him!
Have we got a school for you? Forget Harvard. Forget Princeton. Learn to earn big bucks fast.
Beef plus buns equal bucks.
Come to Buster Burger University
Fall in over here.
and see Hamburger, the motion picture.
We're here to learn to run a Buster Burger franchise. A lot of bull in every bite.
But you'll get more than just an education at Buster Burger U.
Are you crazy?
You'll be stimulated by a student body that shares your interests.
Real neat.
You'll find a faculty that really cares about you. On-the-job training will get you ready
Can I, Buster, help you?
for the fast-paced world of fast food.
All I ever wanted was to be a Buster Burger manager.
America, you're getting very hungry. Hungry for the burger that makes you full. You're chopping for the taste of a Buster Burger. Our famous Buster Burger that's full of fun. The one and only Buster Burger that's full.
Buster Burger, America's favorite drive-through restaurant. Hamburger, the motion picture. It's funny enough to eat.
Okay, I need you to actually solve something for me. What is the difference between a motion picture and a movie?
Now that is a question that's been on the mind of film-goers for generations. A movie? A lowly movie? That means there's lots of shit happening and nothing going on. But a motion picture, okay, that is a higher standard altogether. I think Fellini, I think Herzog, I think Kurosawa, okay? These are high concepts, visualizations. Those aren't directed by lowly directors. Those are auteurs, okay? There's a reason why you'll never hear anybody say, who is the director of Anal Destruction 19? There's just no need to ask. That, my friend, is the difference.
Yeah. So like Star Trek, the motion picture, you're right. It was very artistic and very...
Yeah. It's, it's not about... And then they all get all low brow on us on part 2, and it's like...
Oh, so what you're saying is Star Trek is the motion picture, but it was really Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, the movie.
Wrath of Khan, the movie. So basically, lots of shit happening, but nothing going on.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so we're looking tonight at Hamburger, the movie.
Yeah, no. Hamburger, the motion picture.
Oh, well, I'm very confused because I don't think that matches exactly what I think of when I think of this movie.
Aroma.
Look, for those of you who are nostalgic and don't want to get it, okay, any survivors out there, you take a look at this. This is Hot Dog, the movie. Look at this poster. Yeah, it's...
You sound like a mad infomercial. You're like, you, look at this poster. If you are out there, call 1-877.
But wait, there's more. Okay, look at this. This is nice. It's beautiful. It's direct. You know what I mean? It's got that Mort Drucker style art that we all love. You know what I mean? That's we've come to associate with it. So that's great. That's Peter Markle, by the way, who directed that. Yeah, nice guy. But let's take a look at this bad boy right here. What do we got here? Oh, I don't know. Here you go. Hamburger, the motion.
But wait, there's more. Call 1-877.
Any survivors out there now, please contact us and we'll throw in this bubblegum machine. Okay? Now look at this, Corey. I mean, for God's sakes, man. You pretty much have access to any museum on Earth. We could have any piece of art that we wanted here in our little fortresses of solitude. And you know what? When it boils down to it, screw them. I think this is a great piece of art. Okay?
That and the Mona Lisa. Boom, boom.
That and the Mona Lisa side by side. Ass to ass.
All right. So when you were growing up then and you went to the video store, that was the type of VHS box that leaped off the shelf at you.
Look, buddy, when you're 12, 13 years old and you got a $7 allowance and all you can afford is basically a Punisher comic, a pack of hockey cards, and a slice of oily pizza and a napkin, your nighttime entertainment better be something spectacular. And none are not all going to be Toxic Avenger and Street Trash. They should all strive to be that, but they're not. But you wanted something good, something that had all of it.
Oh yeah, man. When I think about sleepovers, I think of two types of movies. Either, like you talked about, the old slasher or, those classic horror films from the 70s and the 80s. So I think about that as one aspect of an awesome sleepover, but then there was also something that might be a little more titillating, and as you skim past the channels, you might get lucky and get a movie with some side boob. But if you got really lucky and you went to like National Video and the right girls were working behind the counter and they didn't really care you were a little young, that's when you'd get home with Up the Creek or one of these awesome movies. Or if you got really lucky, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Oh my God. So if you got something like that for your sleepover, you were going to be a legend. Well, my friend, have I told you the legend of my 12th birthday?
Should I light some incense and get a red light bulb or something?
Cue the saxophone music. Because I watched with my friends April Fool's Day, which was one of those movies that had everything. It was certainly slasher flick. It had some good gore. It had some laughs. It had some boobs. It literally had everything I needed for a sleepover movie. It was like slasher and TNA comedy or sex romp put together. Oh, such a good flick.
I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of these movies are pretty derivative. And we've pretty much broken it down into kind of a Mount Rushmore of TNA comedies, excuse me.
Watch your language. All right, why don't we go through the Mount Rushmore and talk about what each of these icons represents. First one would be Porky's, which is We Gotta Get Laid, kind of the coming-of-age type comedy.
Yeah, and then there's Caddyshack. You cannot forget that. That brings down the whole snobs versus slobs.
Absolutely. And then we got Police Academy. Police Academy, which is inmates are running the asylum, or there goes the neighborhood. And then we have Revenge of the Nerds. You know, like Rise of the Underdog type, Revenge of the Nerd, ultimately.
When it was funny. Okay, pre-clock tower shooter kind of Revenge of the Nerds. And finally, without a doubt, the granddaddy of them all, Animal House, the big man on campus. So there you have it, the Rushmores of TNA comedies.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
Alright, so that's the Mount Rushmore. So now what we need to do is talk about Hamburger, the motion picture, and see exactly where this fits in. Is it worthy of being saved for the sake of the culture of humanity? If anybody is out there, or if society ever recovers from the great cataclysms, should this movie be remembered for all time? So we can't do that unless we compare it against the Mount Rushmores. And I think we need to start out by finding out, where's the beef in this movie, Philip? What's the plot?
Well, it's very complex. You see, our main hero, Russell, of this film has been expelled from numerous universities due to sexual hijinks. Okay? Yeah, poor guy. And basically, the thing is, if he does not get his university diploma, then sadly he will not inherit the hundreds of thousands of dollars, I think, that his grandfather has set up for him.
Oh yeah, is this an accredited school?
That sounds like a loophole to me. But anyways, that's our movie in a nutshell. That's what it boils down to. And if you think that it's so absurd, I got something here for you, Corey. I want you to take a look at this. You know what this little artifact is right here? Can you see the big M right there? Alright. Well, this little flexi disc, or whatever you want to call this, is music and a special message for the crew members of McDonald's. And so basically, if you were to actually register for Hamburger University, which is a real thing, okay, this is what you would have been presented. And that was for basically potential franchise owners, franchisees, okay? So it's real. This is what I'm saying. Mike Marvin is a visionary. So you know where I stand already on this.
Well, I had no idea that this movie was based on a factual university.
Based on a true story.
All right. Now, I am very glad that you tried to give a succinct type look at that film. I gotta tell you, I had no idea at many points what this movie was about. And hopefully, by the time we get to the end of this, I'm going to have some clarity as to what was going on that screen.
Uh-oh.
Look, don't kid yourself. This is a TNA raunch-com. It's a party movie. However, one thing that it has in common with all those movies is its cast of characters, or the archetypes, okay? They're all represented here, and there's no other way that we can do so without analyzing this cast here right now.
All right, Philip, so let's look at the model employees and examine the cast of characters in this movie, which starts with the primary character that you've already talked about, Russell, played by Lee McCloskey. And I gotta tell you, I wasn't sure how I felt about him because he's good looking. He's rich, we find out. Women constantly throw themselves at him, like Dr. Gotbottom, trying to mount him in the university office. And yet, he's the hero of this film. He's supposed to be one of the underdogs, but he's kind of like one of the overachievers that you usually hate in these movies.
Lee McCloskey, if you're out there, and if you're a survivor, listen to me. I love you. I just don't buy it. Okay? You are a late-night soap opera villain at best in this. You belong on the set of Knots Landing or Dynasty, but Hamburger the Motion Picture, I don't know.
All right, well, that's the lead. What about his best friend, Fred Domino?
I don't know. He's the best friend who is the Leisure Suit Larry type. He's always up for horny hijinks. It's typical of this kind of movie.
And he performs oral sex on the boss's wife below a Chinese food table, eating a big helping of gangbang ho.
Terminally horny.
Let's get into, I guess, a lot of the archetypes, and they are pulled directly from other types of movies. What about Zipzer?
Zipzer! Go ahead.
Okay, I was confused. Obviously, he plays the nerd. It's evident from the beginning he's obsessed with burger culture and burger science. He reads the New England Journal of Burger Research, I believe they call it in the movie. I can't quite remember.
He only listens to hamburger jingles.
Absolutely. Although this movie has a fantastic hamburger jingle.
Bottom line is, Zipzer couldn't get laid if his dick was made of diamonds. Okay?
All right. What about another character that I don't quite understand in this movie? Sister Sarah, whose uniform, a red Buster Burger uniform, is like a red nun's habit. Why doesn't she just get a regular Buster Burger uniform?
I think an even better question to ask is, what the hell is she doing there? Why is this woman who's clearly got a calling from God now all of a sudden registering to be a franchise or a Buster Burger franchise owner?
Although she is called the Frying Nun near the end of this movie, and I'm pretty sure someone said that, laughed, and then wrote that character into the movie for that one joke.
This was potentially a spin-off.
All right, let's keep going. I'm going to say one word to you. You tell me what you think. Prestopopnik.
Fat guy goes nutsoid. No. He is the token fat guy in this film. But as much as this film looks down and is extraordinarily harsh on overweight and obese people, man, they handle him with kind of kid gloves.
Oh, it gets far more offensive for anyone of a larger persuasion in this movie, let me tell ya. Alright, this is my favorite character in the movie, because I can't tell if it's a comment on some type of cultural thing. I don't know what's going on. Is it just the most outrageously racist character ever? But what about funk singer Magneto Jones?
What the hell? Okay, they don't make them like they used to. Shit, they don't make anything anymore. But even if they did, they couldn't do this.
Oh, he is so brilliant that I wasn't sure if this was written by someone who was commenting on affirmative action laws in the United States.
You're here because the Supreme Court sniffing around our franchises, claiming that there hasn't been a single black Buster Burger owner in 25 years.
But he's being held there in chains, right?
The whole movie. Right until the bitter end, okay? And a spoiler alert, when he graduates, he is in chains this entire film.
The entire film, yes. And graduates with the rest of his class. Which also includes a Che Guevara-type revolutionary, Conchita.
Yeah, now to me, Conchita is a little bit more puzzling than the Frying Nun. What the hell is a revolutionary from, where is she from? Guacamole?
Guacamole. She's from Guacamole.
To quote Frank Zappa, there's a whole lot of times I wish I could say I wasn't white and watch Hamburger. Woo!
Oh, man. All right, so that's Conchita. We don't know why she's at Buster Burger University. We're unsure.
I have one theory why Conchita's there. She's trying to bring the man down from the inside. That's all.
See, once again, you're reading into this movie, so this could be the deepest movie of all time. Okay, no discussion of this movie, of course, can leave out possibly the most down-to-earth character in the movie, Miss Mia Vunk.
She's an angel.
And she's really cool because she's not fazed when in a Chinese restaurant eating gangbang ho, her stepmother is receiving oral sex beneath the table, doesn't faze her in the least.
It's Casual Wednesdays.
And then, of course, I keep mentioning this scene, this famous scene. Of course, the person who's receiving the oral sex is Mrs. Vunk.
Mrs. Vunk is a cartoon. She is Betty Boop come to life. And she is played by the sultry sultry, aging lesbian Billy Idol.
Spicy chicken balls.
Do you think she married for money?
Possibility. Well, maybe Lyman Vunk has a very huge hot dog, the motion picture.
Isn't it Hot Dog the movie?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask him and her.
All right, listen. That's a great intro into the three, maybe not three bad guys in the movie. Lyman Vunk. What's this guy's story?
I find it, you're finding it confusing too. Are these guys bad guys or not?
He's probably a genius of some sort. He runs this giant, multi-billion-dollar franchisee restaurant all along.
Now here's my take on Lyman Vunk, and I think it'll sum him up right away. He's the savory Willy Wonka.
Absolutely. That was, you know what? That's bringing a tear to my eye. That is perfect.
It's all turned to shit.
Okay, what about... Oh, God, this brings us to the part of the show when I'm never going to be able to continue. Let's talk about Dick Butkus.
It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Dick Butkus.
It sounds like a euphemism for anal sex.
There's no need for that name, Dick Butkus. Oh my God.
I can't say it. I can't get through this with a straight face. Look, he's been through an awful lot. He's proven himself on the field. He's proven himself in the small screen.
You sound like the coach in an inspirational football movie. He's got the drive. He's got the talent. Come on, guys. Let's get out there and win it.
Oh, no, listen. Don't underestimate him. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, and this is without even having talked about who he plays in the movie. This is just based on his name, Dick Butkus.
The man has a legacy. I will say this, that even though he is the central heel of this film, he's not really. He's the Douglas C. Niedermeyer of Animal House world of this film. His job is to weed out slackers and potential franchise owner failures. And he does that job pretty good.
We still keep referring to him as Dick Butkus.
Okay, yeah. Well, his name is Druten.
Druten. Okay, so however you feel about him doing exactly what he needs to do, let's bear in mind that he christens Conchita with a very gross nickname, to say the least. Possibly the worst nickname I've ever heard in my life.
We'll start with you, Ketchup Crotch.
Me?
Oh, God.
That's a doozy that I would drop a C-bomb on a young lady before I would drop Ketchup Crotch. I don't even feel comfortable.
There's no need for it.
And then there's Dr. Mole, who played by Chuck McCann. I don't know, that's not a household name, but he did an awful lot of animation voices. Okay? He's basically, in my opinion, the Joseph Mengele of this whole movie.
I was going to say the Dr. Moreau, but yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Dr. Moreau.
You always go Nazi every time.
I always go full Nazi. No. Yeah, okay, you know what? You're absolutely right. Dr. Monroe. Dr. Moreau and Dr. Monroe. Yeah, that's probably a better example, a description of Chuck Moll. Oh my. Anyways, what can I say, man? The LeBac Coppers.
Oh, God. All right. So, I think, obviously, there's a few other characters we didn't discuss in there. That's the majority of what's happening in this movie. Character-wise.
Heck off, Pickle. I don't like talking to machines.
All right, if we're looking at sex and violence, there's not much violence in this movie. Well, okay, there's some fast food-related violence and some possible genetic experimentation going on, but there's not, like, classic, like, slasher violence happening here, obviously. But what about...
Hold on, though. Let me correct you here. There are two examples of sexual violence in this film, albeit they are on men. Okay? Because doesn't Conchita attempt to come in and rape Russell with an Uzi 9mm?
She does. It is attempted. I don't know what happens after the cameras were turned off, but yes, that does happen.
No. He gets out of it because he says he's gay.
Oh, yeah, no, it's an attempted rape. It's not a rape.
Listen, if you have an attempted rape in a movie on a female, that's still going up there into the PG-13 rated R category.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. Was this rated G?
Okay, now we're talking about softcore or implied rape. Doesn't, like, Hitler get raped by two fat women in the shower? Like, he actually gets raped.
I don't know if that actually happens there. I think they were, like, cleaning him of his feathers.
Cleaning him of his feathers. Now, that's up there with Dick Butkus for a sexual euphemism.
Thanks, girls. I needed that.
Okay, so, there's some violence in here, but...
There is some violence, but it's only done to men, so therefore it's kind of like, oh.
I agree with that. Okay. So,
nudity. Let's get down to the crux of the matter here. What kind of nudity were you looking at in this film?
Well, I mean, if you were to rent this at a party, you'd be quite pleased with the first scene. It starts in a shower. Not much to see. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. 6 minutes in, though, you do get your first pair of boobs. 6
minutes in, you get 2 sets of boobs. You stand corrected, sir.
It was a bit of a glove slap. Okay.
I'm not going to take this. I'm taking my jacket off right now. You haven't done your homework.
I'm going to commence the pimp slapping somebody right now.
That is essentially, that's the take on sex and violence in this movie. I myself was not sure what to make of this movie at any time. At times it was like a commentary, let's say, on the Americans' appetite for fast food and consumerism. And the next minute there's a whole bunch of fat people farting in a bathroom and they blow the side off a building.
There you go, attacking this film again, trying to reduce it to some sort of crass cartoon, cracked magazine guffaw. Well, what do you know about Mike Marvin?
What am I being quizzed for? All right, Mike Marvin.
No, I just want to know, have you been doing your homework?
All right, well, he was the writer for Hot Dog, the movie.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, I already said that. Earlier.
Thank you. He was the writer of Six Pack.
Oh man, you're dropping the guns on me already. Yeah. Hey, Mike Marvin was the writer of Six Pack. He was the writer of Hot Dog. Before that, he was actually a director of some ski movies and stuff like that. And he actually kind of got an early start doing the ski choreography for the Spy Who Loved Me.
Okay, now you're just showing off. And he also was in a commercial in 1967. You're totally showing off now.
Hey, this is what we're about. You want to shoot the shit with me? If you want to mess with me, all right. Until the world creates some sort of online database of film, which at your fingertips, which we know will never happen, okay, because it's too far-fetched. You're dealing with me.
Okay, granted, yes, all right. So after all that, you just glossed over Six Pack. You just dissed it. You didn't even talk about Kenny Rogers, the man, the myth, the legend.
I'm sick of you talking about Kenny Rogers. I know you love Kenny Rogers.
He's the Will Smith of 1970s country music.
Yes!
The man is making films. He's got #1 hits. He's got a fried chicken restaurant. He is the Will Smith of the 1970s.
I don't know what to say to that. You made a comment about a lot of different voices going on in this film, and I'm going to tell you right now, you are right. He wasn't the original director of this film. Okay, it was about another guy. The whole thing was an absolute disaster, and Feldman and Meeker, they called Mike Marvin in because they remembered him from Hot Dog, and they knew he had some directing background, and said, come in and fix this. So essentially, this guy has to show up. He didn't have a chance to read the script. Not 24 hours. He had to show up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and just start and save just this colossal disaster of a film.
All right, so Mike Marvin, director of Hamburger, writer of Hot Dog. Does that mean in any way that these two movies share the same universe?
there are some similarities. For one thing, Sandy Hackett's in both films. Did you recognize him?
Yes, he plays a wet T-shirt contest judge, I believe, in Hot Dog.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. So we've got that kind of voice going on, and the thing that kind of that they're all that the glue that binds them all together is probably Feldman and Meeker, the producers of this film. And Feldman and Meeker have pretty much, in my opinion, if you're going to ask me...
I got no one else to talk to, so yes, indulge me with what you think.
If I was Feldman and Meeker, I could go to bed with a pretty clean slate and a good conscience and be pretty goddamn proud of the body of work that I have produced.
We'll make billions!
What about the opening day? When did this open in theaters?
That came out on January 31st, 1986. Hamburger the motion picture hit screens, and let me tell you, it was a colossal flop.
And that's why you haven't heard of this. You may have caught pieces of it, but before everything happened and the world ended and people would actually come into the video store and rent things, nobody ever came in looking for Hamburger. Only people who cruise the shelves might come across the box because of that awesome art, and they might say, oh, I'm going to rent Hamburger. But people come in and look for Porky's and look for the Mount Rushmores of these movies, but nobody comes in looking for Hamburger.
Look what it opened up against. Come on, seriously. You got Down and Out in Beverly Hills. That's going to make them come out in droves, okay? For the teen demographic, you had, not only did you have Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, and a very young Keanu Reeves in Youngblood.
Oh my god, that is the most beefcake I've ever heard of. That is a beef steak.
It's a beef steak. It couldn't even get any more beefier unless Brutus Beefcake was in that film, okay? And not only that, this is hot on the heels. Guess what else is released? Top Gun. So, Hamburger is just, oh man, it's ignored. Hamburger did find new life in the video stores, like a lot of these films. Late Night Cable, with Ron DeShear Up All Night, a lot of you will probably remember that. And Filipino Holiday Inns.
Alright, so I want to discuss the nutritional facts. Is this movie worth the wait? Is it actually worth being saved for the rest of eternity, for mankind?
Okay, I'll answer this question the best way I possibly can, but I can't move on without at least acknowledging our Mount Rushmore, and I want to prove my theory correctly. Where do you think this fits in Mount Rushmore?
So we need to compare this against the Mount Rushmore. Alright, so number one, Porky's. Is this like a coming-of-age teen sex romp?
I'd hardly call Hamburger the motion picture a loss of innocence film. It's definitely not coming of age. And considering Porky's mission statement is everybody must get laid, that's really not going to work out, again, well for Russell, who is desperately trying and struggling to keep it in his pants.
Okay, is it Caddyshack or like slobs versus snobs?
Caddyshack did for golf what Animal House did for university fraternities. While Buster Burger University is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, it ain't Camp Bushwood. And if you compare Ted Knight's character in Caddyshack to, say, Lyman Vunk, the essential heel for the film, there's no comparison. Vunk is just far too beyond the sun.
Alright, so this takes place at a university. So is this Animal House or Big Man on Campus type frat comedy?
I don't think so. Okay, considering Animal House is all about celebrating breaking of the rules and thumbing your nose at the institution, I don't know if that's going to be in our hero's best interest, considering the money he stands to inherit. So, yeah, no way. Russell is essentially completely castrated from who he actually is in this film, so nope.
Alright, what about Revenge of the Nerds, or like Rise of the Underdogs?
Hamburger the Motion Picture has its own lovable ragtag group. You've got the nun, you've got the revolutionary, you got your fat guy, your token funky black guy, and you've even got Gypsy nerd. And they're trying to better themselves in this university, and what's stopping them? A jock. Who's the jock? Dick Butkus. So, essentially, it is, without a doubt, Revenge of the Nerds.
Alright, I'm gonna give you a softball here now. Is it Police Academy? The inmates are like running the asylum.
Wee-oo, wee-oo, somebody call the cops. I think your script's been stolen. In terms of Mount Rushmore's, okay, yeah, sure. Hamburger the Motion Picture borrows hard from Police Academy. They don't even really, at the end of the day, attempt to mask it. They just substitute it. You've got the actual Police Academy, and now it's a Hamburger University. There's no Captain Harris, but there's a Druten. So you just add degenerates, nymphos, slackers, or any least likely to the mix, and it's the perfect ingredients for a film. It just had the wrong proportions.
Wow, scrotum, a real delicacy for the rich and famous.
All right, so is this movie worth saving?
You know damn well how I feel about this. I have been fighting tooth and nail through this whole thing. Yes, it's a lowbrow teen sex comedy from 1986, but there's a whole lot more going on. This is a savage commentary about America. What happens at the beginning of this film? What are they showing? The montage where we hear that ultimate theme song.
Oh, that theme song. That theme song is like Bob Seger in a feverish McDonald's-induced nightmare. It's amazing.
Okay, no, and that's what I'm saying. What are we seeing during this montage? This film opens with a montage, by the way.
It's a montage of real Americans eating real fast food, and these are real Americans. This isn't Hollywood models.
No, this is real shots. And where are they eating? Are they eating in Burger King? Are they eating in Wendy's or Dairy Queen? Where are they eating?
They're eating at mom and pop shops.
Mom and pop shops, luncheonettes, all these sort of things that disappeared long ago. And what replaced them?
Long ago. You're getting very swept up in this. It's, giant burger chains.
So it's the industrial revolution of hamburgers. The disappearance and the attack on mom and pop and Americana. And that's what I'm saying. This boils down to something that my grandfather said a long time ago. And he said, men in jeans built this country and men in suits ruined it. And when we try to rebuild this world, I want you to remember that. And that's why I think that this film needs to be saved as a grim reminder of a potential of what can happen.
All right. I got nothing else to say then. Spirited defense. So yes, I guess at this point there's nothing left to do but bow our heads in reverence and Hamburger the Motion Picture.
You bow down and you kiss my ass. It's a masterpiece. Lower your head, goddammit!
My head can't be any lower.
Lower it more! Hamburgers!
Sky's falling, the world is ending, and I'm rewinding these videotapes. No one's renting cause they're all dying, and I'm finding this hard to take. Stay inside, but time passes slowly. Save pop culture one film at a time. But when this madness is finally over, I can serve the next person in line. Can't stop working cause that leads to thinking I might catch this deadly disease. I got one friend who always reminds me that it's life after late fees.